All right, everyone, welcome back to DSP versus the Internet. This is episode 21 for July 9th, 2023, and I believe this is part 4 of 6. Thanks for watching so far. Thank you to all the channel members who submitted these videos for me to watch this week. Let's continue with the variety. So it looks like we're going to do another pizza review. Now, this one's interesting. This one is from Sally's a Pizza in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm trying to remember. I remember Pepe's Pizza in Connecticut was always like one of the most famous ones that everyone said Pepe's was the best. I don't think I've ever been to Sally's. I lived in New Haven, Connecticut, but I never tried Sally's. Let's take a look at this. Skip ahead here. Sally's. Not familiar with this. Damn, 1938.
All right, Frankie. Continuing in New Haven. The place is so old school in there, I felt like I was in The Sopranos or something. Just very old school. This string that he took like 5 hours putting on to it's gonna take me 5 hours now to get it off.
That actually is how they used to tie up pizza boxes where I used to go. At Vinny's Pizza, they would tie up your pizza with string to make sure your pizza box doesn't open on your way home. That's something old school that they used to do at pizzerias in Connecticut. I don't know if they still do it. This is from 4 years ago.
Pizza, and it is. I didn't know what to expect, whether when we came here, it would be all different style. This is, again, coal fire. Looks the same exact pizza. Big box. Baked. So
Sally's is pretty famous. They have a well-known seafood pizza. I've never tried that one. Like I said, I had Pepe's before.
On the premises, 237 Worcester Street. Frankie, I could take this, my arm. I don't have a good arm. I have a bad shoulder surgery. I would have been in the big leagues if I didn't have shoulder surgery. I hit like 420 as a freshman all the way through. I could hit a ball.
Okay, anyway, can you eat the pizza?
They know New Haven's the pizza capital of the world, and look at it. Look at that pot.
Whoa. So immediately you can tell that's brick oven pizza from the char on the edges. You can also notice that their style is to have an insanely thin crust. You can see there's little, like, no crust around the edge. Like, the cheese goes all the way to the edge. You can also notice, look how much they cut it. So each piece is large, but man, the pie is huge, and the pieces are long and thin. That is very unique. However, I can distinctly tell. Oh, it's coal fire. That's cool. A coal oven? Yeah. That would be why you're getting such a good char around the edges, right? Coal fire oven. But the bubbling of the cheese is very, you know, a symbol of really well-made pizza. And the fact that the cheese has that kind of like marbling effect in the color of the cheese shows that the cheese is mixed. It's well done. Like, that's really good. That pizza's gonna, even though that might be very sloppy to eat because you don't have a crust to hold on to, that pizza's gonna taste good.
Makes me want to fucking cry, Frank.
Duh.
Fucking work of art. The crust so brown. Let's see.
Let's see.
Well, we got an 8.8 and an 8.5 so far in New Haven. One bite, everybody knows the rules. Worcester Street, right? That's where we're at?
Yep.
Yeah. Frankie, they're all the same. They're all fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's nitpicking if you're gonna go one from the other. But this is fucking good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's real fucking good.
It's really good.
You can't. He wants to eat more. You can't take it, man. You can't stop. Start eating this pizza. It's just like
9-2.
a 9-2.
9-2.
Wow, 9-2.
All right. So this is the leader in the clubhouse. This is it. We're one.
Next to.
Pepe's?
There's Pepe's and then there's Abate's right after that.
What's the one after?
Abate's. There's Pepe's and then Abate's.
Pepe's right across the street?
Pepe's is on this road.
We just did Pepe's.
Oh, you just did that. I missed that.
Yeah, I don't know what Abate's is.
It's right next to it.
Did you see that, Frankie? Across the street? All right. Is it, and it's on the same level as these guys?
You know, I'd maybe put a peg lower, but it's still good.
What did Pepe's get?
Pepe's I gave an 8.5. 9.2, and modern I gave an 8.8.
Yes.
And now we're gonna go do bar after this.
Sally's a Pizza.
Do you agree with those rankings?
I totally agree with those rankings. I think you are spot on. I think Sally's a Pizza is the best in New Haven, for sure.
Yeah, oh, that's the other thing she's doing. I don't know what she was doing. A pizza, I have no idea what that means. That must mean something. A pizza.
A pizza is the classic pizza. Actually, the full word is a pizza, but it was abbreviated to pizza. They took the A off to Americanize it. The full word is a pizza. This guy reviews pizza and didn't know that? That's the classic Italian. It's a pizza. He didn't know that. Wow. And this guy just goes around reviewing pizza. He didn't know that? I know that because I grew up in Connecticut. Anywhere you go, like most restaurants in Connecticut call it a pizza. Yeah. 100%.
What? A beets. Is that like Italian? A beets.
American Italian. Like, we don't call it mozzarella, we call it mousse.
I know, that's what my
mozzarella.
guy Frankie does.
Yeah.
Okay, a beets. I've never seen us. I've been to 450 places. I've never seen the A.
That's crazy. I grew up seeing the A. That's on all the restaurants in Connecticut because they're all Italian restaurants. So literally, he hasn't been eating at authentic places. And he's done 450 reviews. Wow. And then he finally went to the real place. Damn.
If you see the A, maybe it means go. 9.2. That's a real deal, Frankie. I'm very close to declaring New Haven pizza capital of the world. These are 3 pizzas that are fucking spectacular.
Wow.
Spectacular. A beets. Like this. You say it, I just learned it, but you say it like this. A beets.
That's right. He's right. That's what you do. Anyway, yeah, this is a good... I mean, this is obviously interesting stuff to me because I grew up in Connecticut. I tell you guys all the time, Connecticut is a heavy Italian-influenced state. A lot of Italians moved there and just opened restaurants, and there's tons of Italian restaurants in Connecticut. You could get the best pasta, the best Italian-style seafood. It's all in Connecticut. That's where you get it. It's pretty awesome. All right, that was a good video. I've never been to Sally's, you know, but there's a ton of good places like that in Connecticut. So mine was Vinny's. So anyway,
The Bang on a what? Bang on a Can All-Stars. They're this really cool band. I met the composer, and they've agreed to come to our school next week.
What kind of music is it?
It's Trey avant-garde, Binky. It might be too sophisticated for you.
Ha! Too sophisticated for me.
Oh, no.
I know music better than any of you.
you know it's about to be a joke.
I feel like I was just on another planet. Wonder if this is what it's like to be Buster.
When do they stop tuning their instruments and play the music?
That is the music. Hearing Nishirimaru for the first time, I have no idea what that is. What is Nishirimaru? Well, sadly, I think I have to see. This is an actual cartoon, and I get the feeling we're gonna get in trouble for it. But I guess the joke is that they're listening to this crazy new age music or something, right? All right, let's go to the next one. Whoa, look at this kid.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth.
He got hit by a smooth turd. He's got to let out at that urinal. It's mortified. Yo, that's great. You've been hit by a smooth turd now. Wow. Hyper Kids in Africa. 1.9 million views for that.
'Cause this is Africa.
Wow. Anyway, I'm glad that was fast because that was Michael Jackson. Obviously, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. By the way, already I was right. The Arthur clip is getting claimed. So just so you guys know, if the stream goes down for a couple minutes, stick around. After 2 minutes, it'll come back. I hope that we didn't watch too much of the Arthur clip. I think we're all right. Frankie Boyle audience abuse. He's going to attack. This is 18 minutes. Let's just watch a little bit of it and see what it is.
How you doing, little fella? You've made a fucking effort.
What the
Looks
hell?
like someone shaved a monkey and kicked it through Top Man.
What? What'd he say? Shaved a monkey and what?
You've gone for it with the hair here, haven't you? You look like a moderately powerful Pokemon. Why is he a giant version of you? It's like fucking Russian dolls there. How you doing, big fella? How's life been since you played Mongo in the Blazing Saddles movie?
Mongo. Remember Mongo from Blazing
What'd
Saddles?
you do, big man?
IT.
IT. And you said that in a sort of, and my soul is dying every time I sit in front of the computer screen.
Duh!
What about you, Frodo? What's your story?
Frodo.
I called you Frodo. Because you look like you've had your ring destroyed. I don't know.
He's all right. It's dry. Again, British humor is all dry humor. It's not... They don't have big setups in British humor. It's usually just like a lot of insults and a lot of like satirical stuff, a lot of like dark stuff, right? But it's very dry. It always is very dry stuff.
What do you do, man?
He's a Scotsman. People are saying he's a
You're a
Scotsman.
photographer. You're a trainee paedophile, sir.
Wow, trainee pedophile. Interesting.
You got Scottish people? I love that cheer Scottish people do when they think there's a lot more Scottish people in. Yay! Oh, we're surrounded. Where you from, Scottish people? You sound fucking... Oh, Paisley, he's talked you in Shittown top trunks there.
Alright. I would like to watch more, but I can't understand half the stuff he's saying. When they talk like that with that dialect, it's so hard to even make out the words they're saying, so I'm just gonna go to the next video.
Hey.
Hey, come in.
How are you?
Good, thanks for getting the pizza. Oh, did you remember to get the extra sausage?
Yeah, I got your sausage right here.
Oh, dude!
What? What? I'm sorry.
Why'd you put your dick on the pizza?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
Hey.
Hey.
Sorry about yesterday. I don't know what that was.
We don't have to talk about it.
That's fair. Got your mail.
Thanks. Hey, was there a package?
Just this one.
Oh my god. Alright, this is fucking stupid.
Me too. Where are your
I
pants?
don't know.
This is so stupid. What the fuck?
Hey.
Hey.
Video game?
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, the game's not even co-op, so how are they playing it two-player?
Snack.
Sure.
Nuts.
How about balls? No! What's happening to me?
Alright, that's enough of that joke.
Everything
So
you
stupid.
do, every action you decide to do is either done for reasons, in which case it's determined by those reasons and not.
Is free will possible? I feel like I have to start over, but again, the audio quality is shit. What is with a lot of these videos having really shitty audio? I can't understand what the people are saying. Like, I'll up the audio on my headset here to try to understand this. Alright, let's listen.
Everything you do, every action you decide to do is either done for reasons, in which case it's determined by those reasons and not free because it's determined, or it's done for no reasons, in which case it's random and not free. So either you have the option determined and not free or random and not free. And there's no way to add something to that, as far as I know, that can get you out of that dichotomy of determined or random and get you an actually free choice. So every action you take is either determined or random. There's no way to get free will.
These people just don't understand the concept of free will. They don't. The concept of free will is not you have complete and utter control over everything in your environment and therefore you have a choice to do whatever you want. That's not the concept of free will. We are all limited, tangible beings. We are finite beings. We are all going to die someday. We have to intake resources to survive. We have to breathe. If we don't breathe, we die. We don't have the option to choose not to breathe or else we end our own existence. Do you understand? When I hear these people think that they're all up their own ass about free will and how smart they think they are, they always say stuff like that. Well, we don't truly have free will because it's either this or that that determines it. No, no, no. The concept of free will is that within the system that you exist, all right, and the confines of the system and the world you live in, which is going to have limitations. You're never going to be an omnipotent, omniscient, all-powerful being with true free will. But within the confines of what you're talking about, all right, then if you have choice, freedom of choice to do something. Like, for example, let's say it's my day off. And just on a whim, all right, I have a block of time on my day off where I don't have to do anything. So I can choose, do I want to go get some food that's I'm not starving, but I could go get some food. I'll maybe get an ice cream just for the sake of getting an ice cream because it tastes good. Or maybe I could clean my garage because it's kind of dirty. I don't have to clean it today, but maybe I feel like cleaning it because it's something that'll get me ahead, right? Or maybe I just want to lay on the couch like a lump and do absolutely nothing because I just feel like relaxing and I have the choice to do that. Do you see? That's free will, right? That's the concept of free will. That you have the choice to do what you want to do with the freedoms that are within your limitations of life and existence. Now, oh, you don't have free will because you just can't do whatever you want to do because you have to confine by this or this criteria. You're an idiot. There's no one in existence that has complete freedom to do whatever they want. It just doesn't exist. You have, as finite beings, as things that need resources to exist, you have to do certain things to keep existing. So therefore, you're right. You'll never truly be free. It doesn't exist. You're right. But that's a stupid dunce. Like, anyone with a brain, right? Anyone with a brain can 5 seconds into this argument say, okay, we have to have some establishing factors and characteristics to qualify what free will is, because if you don't, then you'll never have it, right? It's limited free will. And I hate when people, oh, look how big-brained I am. Look, I just proved that free will doesn't exist. Okay, dunce. Yes, in the dunce world, where you think that someone out there is, you know, completely unlimited with whatever they can do, there's no one. Literally not a human, not an animal. No one has that freedom at all. It doesn't, you know, so true free will of complete unlimited freedom will never exist for anything. That is correct. Absolutely correct. But within the discussion of what is free will and like governments protecting your freedom of choice and things like that, it's within a certain quantified system. Why can't we understand that? Why do we have to just be like, you see how smart I am? Because free will doesn't exist. No, let's get to the real discussion that's meaningful to humans instead of wasting our time with your bullshit. Okay, let's continue.
I decided to apply for 1,000 jobs because I keep hearing that the job market is broken. Well, let's find out how bad it really is.
Where have all the workers gone?
Labor is...
I don't even know what the fuck that was. He had a pop-up barcode on the screen. Did you see that? He had a pop-up barcode. Probably to click, you know, scan it for his stuff or something. So you apply for 1,000 jobs to find out if there's a labor shortage. This was a year ago. Okay. So if he's in the United States, if you don't understand what he's talking about, there's been this talk in the last few years that since COVID happened, all right, since everything shut down and had to reopen for COVID, that there is this big disconnect between employers and employees. The employers are claiming there's not enough labor. There's no one out there to hire for our jobs anymore, and therefore we have all these empty positions and we can't run our businesses properly because there's no one to hire. The employees are the opposite. They're saying, no, the problem is there's no jobs out there we want. The jobs that are out there are shit. Therefore, we're just going to continue to look for better jobs. We don't want these lower end jobs because we realized during COVID we don't need them. We don't need to be scraping by with working 2 to 3, 4 part-time shit-ass jobs where we get no health care, we get no benefits at all, we get paid the absolute minimum, we get treated like crap, we get inconsistent hours, we don't get enough hours. Why would we want that job? So what's happening is people have stopped applying for those jobs and just look for better. And these businesses that always relied on these crappy, low-level, bad treatment jobs are now hurting because they're realizing, oh, fuck, we've been abusing people for so many years. We have to change. We have to change our entire business structure to support people and have meaningful employees, which they've never done before. Before they were like, oh, you're just disposable. Hire you, you'll work 5 hours a week, fucking come in, do the minimum, get the fuck out the door. Nothing, right? So Americans' workforce has changed in the last 2 to 3 years. So I'm curious what this experiment does. The 10-minute video, but let's see how he did this.
Scarce right now. So I think I'm going to apply for these jobs using fictional names. Now in the 2005 book, Freakonomics, they talked about applying for jobs using the same resumes with different names at the top. And in their words, a white sounding name and a black sounding name. So I pulled the names Tanner and Demetrius from their list, and those are going to be the names I used to apply for the jobs. I'll be applying with the same exact resumes, just changing the names at the top.
Okay.
Now since it's been so long since I've done my own resume, I'm going to buy a template from Etsy. Okay, so the main issue I'm having with this is that almost every template I'm seeing has some sort of objective statement or profile section, so I may just have to get one and delete that. I'm no resume expert, but I've always thought those sections were kind of pointless and silly. So it says here your objective is to become a master at taxidermy. So you applied for an accounting job. You do know there's a big difference between taxidermy and taxes, right? Oh, yeah, no, just skip that. I was literally just too lazy to put in the title of this job. So in my opinion, the best case scenario is it gives no information. Being that I'm going to be applying for 1,000 jobs, I want to do as little customization as possible. Okay, so I ended up buying and filling out a couple resumes here, and I must say, I think we got a couple winners. Now, I'll be the first to admit, filling out resumes was a bit more challenging than I expected. That said,
team member of a restaurant chain. Work constantly to keep the dining area and spotless, handle customer orders, work multiple positions, including cook, through cashier, and cleanup. Always make sure each customer left happy. Memorize menu to make recommendations to customers, and kept up with customer traffic trends. Skills. I can work with Excel, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Sheets, Docs, and Slides. Look at that. Like college, university. So he's going to make up the names of universities, right? College, university. I went for a business major and a minor in psychology with a 3.6 GPA. That's pretty funny. Oh, excuse me. Expected graduation 2022. I was going to say, if he graduated from university and all he's done is work in a restaurant, what happened, right? Interesting.
I've filled these out based on the way I would like to see them as a potential employer. So I've got these 2 different resumes, and I think I'm going to do a total of 2 different versions of each one. One where the candidate is expecting to graduate from college in the next few months, and another where our candidate never went to college and just has a high school diploma.
Okay,
so when all is said and done, we're going to have 4 resumes. Each resume is going to have a college and a high school version, and we're going to swap out the names Demetrius and Tanner on each one.
Too.
As far as work experience goes, I'm going to have one version with the well-known retailer. The other is going to be a well-known and well-respected restaurant chain.
So one
now,
restaurant,
to keep track of all the responses,
retail.
I set up a new email address and a new phone number for each resume for each of our candidates. It took a lot of work, but we're ready to apply for jobs.
Okay.
Entry-level jobs. The next way is I'm going to career websites like Indeed, Career Builder, and I'm searching for entry-level jobs on there. I find companies and positions through there and then go directly to their websites. In my own experience, when I've received applications, it always meant a lot more if they went directly to our website as opposed to a job board. And with this click here, I believe that is job application 1000.
I don't know if I believe he actually did 1,000. Maybe a couple hundred. I don't think he did 1,000. That would have taken an insane amount of work. And, I mean, let's be honest. He has to apply for jobs, what, in his area? Maybe not. Maybe he's just literally applying across the country, right? All right, if that's the case, then it's 1,000. I was going to say, like, in your area, you're going to run out of places to apply to. But maybe he's just going nationwide and keeps changing his data. Maybe. All right.
That took quite a bit longer than I expected. The worst part of the process is you upload a resume and then not having to refill all the information in, but when the system attempts to upload your information into the fields but does it incorrectly, and then you have to go back and delete all the information and then re-add it again. The second worst is assessment test. Instead of taking 2 or 3 minutes to apply for a job, you do an assessment test and you're talking 15, sometimes 20 minutes to apply for a job. The first few were like a little bit fun, but after 2 or 3, they were just brutal.
The other thing is, the dumbest thing about the assessment test is that they're just an automated criteria. Usually, a human never reviews it, and then when you go to an interview, they just ask you the same questions again, and then they want your answers in person. So why the fuck did you waste my time with the assessment test?
Now, one thing that was surprising in this whole process is, you know, the old meme of entry-level job but requires 3 to 5 years experience.
Yes.
Well, I didn't track it for all 1,000 jobs, but I did take a sample of 50 of the jobs that I applied for. Of those 50, 21 of the jobs specifically said, either in the job title or in the job description, that they were an entry-level position. Of those 21, only 2 specifically said that they required experience. Another 6.
Okay, here's the problem. I can actually attest to this. Here's the problem. They won't say it, but then when they interview, they'll take the person with experience over the person who doesn't. So, for example, let's say entry-level job, you're a receptionist, okay? Great. So, I'm fresh out of college. I'm qualified for this job because I'm intelligent. I have a degree. I've shown that I have some skills here. You know, I can answer phones. I want to work with your system. I know how to use Excel. But then they'll hire the person who has 5 years experience instead of you. And you might say, well, I don't get it. How does that always happen? Because in America, what's happened is there's a lot of layoffs. There was a lot of problems. There's a lot of, you know, with COVID especially. So many people lost their jobs that now when you go to apply even for an entry-level position, there's always someone with more experience than you to take the job. So even though they don't say it on the application, the person with more experience gets it anyway. So you end up with all these entry-level jobs where only people with tons of experience are getting them. That's the problem in America right now.
It said something about experience preferred. The rest of those 21 didn't say anything about experience required, experience preferred, and some even advertised that no experience was required.
Which is bullshit.
So I think the meme is kind of true to an extent, but gets a bit exaggerated more than reality. Though I did hear about a company one time asking for 10 years of experience in a programming language that had only been around for 7 years. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's pretty funny. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the results. I did decide to put on a suit and tie in honor of all the job interviews I didn't go on. Our initial goal was to apply for 1,000 jobs. After a double count and a recount, we ended up applying for 1,003.
Nah.
I always say it's better to be a little bit long. And probably nobody's surprised, not all jobs out there are valid and currently open. In fact, I called one pizza company about a job that had been out there for 6 months. Here's what they said. I was looking online and I saw that you guys have an opening for a pizza maker. Is that job still open?
No, we're actually only hiring drivers now.
Oh, okay. I saw it had been out there for 6 months, and so that one's not available. Just drivers?
Nope, not anymore.
This is a major problem with the new automated economy, is because all of these jobs now being posted are almost an automated process. You have a lot of postings out there that are completely invalid. It'll say, oh, there's an opening for a line level person. Then you actually get the interview. You go to the interview, they're like, oh, well, all we have open is like this specific job within the building. That's not what you applied for. Then why am I here? Why the fuck am I here for the interview? Why did you waste my time? Oh, that's the automated, that's the online system. Sorry about that. I'm serious. This is happening all the time in America now, because it used to be one person was hired to handle all of that. Now they leave it all to these robotic automated systems, and it's bullshit. It's completely unfair to the people looking for the jobs. It's a waste of everyone's time.
Because of this, I tried to limit my job search to jobs that had been posted recently, and really tried to find jobs that were offering $15 an hour or higher. With that said, 62% of the jobs applied for had some sort of wage, the average wage being $17.36. And I came up with this number by taking the low end of the range. So if a job was listing $15 to $17 per hour, I would take the $15 per hour number and use that in the calculation. For jobs that listed an annual salary, I calculated the comparable hourly wage. Now with that said, across the 1,003 job applications, we received a total of 259 interview requests. We also got 47 flat-out rejections. And in addition to all of that, we got 87 calls where they didn't leave a message and I wasn't sure where the call came from. If we assumed all of those calls were to set up an interview, that would push our return rate to 35%. I decided to throw those out though, because even on the first day that we had the number set up, I was already receiving spam calls. So net, that leaves us with around 650 jobs with no response. Now I'm sure some of those are like the pizza job and no longer valid, but obviously we're going on about 10 days now. If you haven't called us back yet, you're probably not that thirsty for employees. I'm married now, but back in my dating days, if a girl hadn't called back in 10 days, now when you compare resume...
This is also important to know. In the United States, what happens again, because the whole system's online and automated, a lot of these businesses will list the position as open. It's not. They'll get your resume. You'll get a call 4 months later. Oh, hi, are you still interested in the job? The job I applied for in April? Dude, it's like August. What are you talking about? Obviously, did I think I sat on my ass for 4 months? I need a job. I got one, right? Oh, well, the job's open now. Well, then why was it listed in April? And this happens all the time. They'll call way later because they just leave it as an open-ended for them. It benefits the employer to have it open-ended and have this giant queue of people they can call whenever they want. Meanwhile, you're the one who needs the job now and you can't get it because they're just messing with your time.
A versus resume B. Resume B did quite a bit better. In fact, of the applications where I used resume A, regardless of college, high school, or whose name was on top of it, resume A received a response rate of 22%.
Okay.
You compare that to resume B, and it got a response rate of around 30%.
So,
I'm not sure if it was the content, the layout. I'm not sure what the difference was. I tried to make them really comparable, so I was a little surprised at the difference. College versus high school was also pretty interesting. Again, same resumes, just changed the education section. And keep in mind that I only applied for jobs that I thought we were qualified for. So if a job required a college degree, I would apply for it with the college resume, but I would skip those with the high school resume. When it comes to response rate on the applications where I used the resume where we were just about to graduate from college, I got a response rate of around 22.4%. Now, the high school resume received a response rate of about 35%. And the first reaction may be as well, does it actually hurt you to have a college degree in the labor market? I think there's a couple reasons for why those two may be pretty different. For one, with the college resume, I was applying for a little bit higher quality jobs.
Yeah, that's what it is. He applied for higher quality jobs, therefore it's going to be more restrictive who's going to get the calls. While the high school job, it's lower end jobs, they're just going to call more people because you don't need as many qualifications. That's simple to figure out.
Graduate in about 3 months. Whereas the high school resume, we had already graduated. That means that employers that couldn't wait an additional 3 months might have skipped over the
That makes
college
sense too. He said you were going to graduate.
So now
in
when
3
it
months,
comes to using Demetrius versus Tanner, again, same resumes on everything else. We just swapped out the names. In total, Tanner got a response rate of around 25%, and Demetrius had a response rate of about 26%.
They're about the same.
Statistically, I think they were basically the same. And when you look at high school versus college, the two were basically the same there as well. Demetrius got just a little bit better response rate than Tanner.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Now, if I really wanted to test out
of error.
this name theory, I would probably do very similar resumes and send them all into the same company. The main purpose of this exercise was to get a sense of what the general labor market is like. So I intentionally tried to avoid using multiple resumes to apply for the same job at the same company. I was concerned that multiple resumes may tip off an employer and they might throw out our applications altogether, and thus throwing off or skewing our stats. That said, there were 8 jobs where I sent in a resume for both people, and I didn't receive a response back on any of the 8. So I think my takeaway here is that the entry-level job market seems to be pretty strong, at least at the time of this video. Getting an interview request back on a third of the applications sent in, that's pretty good, I think. Now, how many of those would have turned into actual jobs? I mean, we'll never know. If you enjoyed this video...
No, right. Again, what this is showing, I feel, is that it's not that there aren't people applying. It's not that there aren't jobs that need employees. Is that there's a disconnect, right? Is a complete disconnect. The systems set up online now are so automated, they're not in line with the workforce that's looking for employment. Oh, the position's open. You apply, no one responds. Well, then what did I fucking apply for, and why the hell did you have a position open to begin with, right? It doesn't make sense. Or, you know, they're looking for things that don't exist. They're looking for people. Who the hell wants to work a job that's a low-end job, minimum wage, less than full-time hours, less than part-time hours, no employment, no benefits, nothing, no health insurance, not even guaranteeing me this job, no job security. It's a fucking flipping burgers, which already is a bad job because you smell, you're covered in gross stuff all day. But then you expect like someone's going to be eager to be coming to work for your job, right? These employers need to make, number one, employers need to step it up and start hiring people to actually deal with this full time. Now, oh, this is a secondary or third string part of a manager's job who's already overworked at the retail store, and they're supposed to figure out how to schedule interviews and get people in with an automated system that's a body of information that's all bullshit, because it took in resumes for 4 months and they just fucking sat there. Who knows if these people even care about the job anymore? The whole system's broken. Really, what COVID did this. COVID exposed the system for being as broken as it was because it made a pause. When there was a pause button in employment, the disconnect happened. And now you have a populace that want employment but don't want the jobs that are out there, and jobs that don't want the populace that are willing to work. So when are we going to get in line? The thing is, the populace can't fix that. The people, the workforce can't fix it. The companies have to. The companies have to reassess what's out there and readjust their businesses to be in line with the workforce there, and they're not doing that. And so they're just sitting there whining, oh, I'm understaffed, I can't get people. Well, fuck you. Work your business better then. You're the one who owns the business. Redo your business so it works with the current model of people who are out there. Don't just sit there and whine and complain. It's not going to fix things. And that's what a lot of these major companies are doing. Anyway, thanks for watching DSP versus the Internet. We got 2 parts left, and we'll get to those shortly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in part 5.